pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, justice for all. Mr. Fufalia is excused. Move to the next item on the agenda, a moment of silence. Please join me in a moment of silence for Gail McLaughlin, a graduate of the North Syracuse Central School District. Thank you. Item 2A, the 2017-18 facilities update. Mr. Keegan.
Good evening. I'm joined here tonight by Paul Johnston from King & King Architects. He's going to lead our presentation.
Good evening. Yeah, good, thank you. Okay, so for tonight, we've got one slide per project. We've got 4 projects to go through briefly with you. I don't want to take a lot of your time, but certainly want to answer all your questions. So I'll go through this, and then feel free to interrupt me as I go. The one thing I forgot tonight was a laser pointer I wanted to have to sort of help walk you through this. So what I think I'm going to do is maybe take us out of slide mode here so I can use the mouse. Okay, so here we go. A lot of what you're looking at tonight is really directly in line with the previous 2 or 3 presentations I've made to you in the past. We're at a schematic design level at this point, so we've really started to develop the floor plans. We've met with teachers and building staff on multiple occasions in a variety of different groups that included both meetings where Annette facilitated conversations, meetings where Dan and Dawn have been involved. We've met with teachers in different groupings, whether it were by grade level along with some of the special teachers that work alongside them. We've met with reading and resource, etc. I take that back, not resource. That's not the right term anymore. But reading, AIS, etc. We've met with them individually. We've walked to people's rooms. We've really tried to understand their needs and have continued to develop this floor plan in line with that. Just quickly going through this again, the main entrance has been reoriented. I will come back at a future meeting with you and talk to you a little bit more about the site plan. I know before the vote there were some concerns about the site plan and how traffic would work on the site. So now that we've got a floor plan in good shape, we'll be able to focus on the site plan a little bit more. And so I look forward to coming back with a more developed site plan where we can really talk about the flow of buses and parents and how all that's divided. But the general concept is that you're entering all day long at this entrance here. The entrance on this side is for buses. Again, a new bus loop would come along this side of the building, kind of past the back of the gym as it exists now. Entering the building, again, administration towards the front. A lot of those public services, such as the counselors, the nurse, and obviously the principal would all be at the front of the building. Moving back through, you start to see art and music. Band has a space back here. The first main grouping of rooms are the kindergarten rooms in the former location or the current location of the main office and main entrance. Again, the cafeteria stays as is, and then we start to work along the back wing here. We have first grade, second grade, third grade is actually over here, and fourth grade along the back. It's been interesting in just how the building is laid out, and this has really been true through all the presentations so far, where kindergarten really continues to be sort of its own design. Again, those students are not leaving the room often. outside of going to the gym and the cafeteria, and so they pretty much stay in their rooms. There is some minor coordination and collaboration between teachers and rooms, and we're designing in spaces where teachers can cover for each other. So that's thought out, and there'll be offices and sort of multi-purpose rooms that tie them together. When you come back to some of the other areas, we're excited in the fact that we're starting to develop these group work areas or shared spaces. And in those spaces, instead of what currently happens where teachers or parent volunteers are pulling students out into the hallways, they're actually going to have some defined spaces. Some of those spaces are enclosed, so if you need to do a quiet reading lesson with someone, you'll have a small room to do that with them in. Other areas are open, allowing larger groups to be able to sort of flow into the hallway and use these areas. We have a variety of what we're calling sort of wet areas where you could expand into art projects or science projects, or who knows what doors that opens for teachers. But sort of these wet project areas, and again, all outside of their classrooms. That really applies to the designs of second, really all the grades, but in second and third, those floor plans look very similar. When we get to fourth grade, again, you have those same spaces, but the ability to, again, even open up the classrooms a little bit further so that if they want to get, they really could go to the extreme of getting the entire fourth grade together if they wanted to. And you'd be amazed at how many kids, when they just sit on the floor, how many kids will fit into an area. So we know in this sort of back area here, with the ability to open some walls, that they could do large group things if that suits what they're trying to do. That's not an everyday thing based on what they've expressed to us so far, but we want to build in that flexibility and the adaptability in the floor plan so that it's both sort of meeting the style that the teachers are utilizing currently, but also to the best of our ability to future-proof the building moving forward, knowing that they're currently living in a building that's 50 to 60 years old, depending on which portion of the building you're in. So we just always try to keep that same perspective as we're designing this, that people could be sitting 40, 50 years down the road utilizing something that we did today. And so we really accomplished that through a variety of different sized and types of spaces. What I mean by that is both those enclosed and those open spaces that I talked about. We're really excited about the courtyard and the design of the courtyard. We really see that, especially on this site where you're more landlocked than maybe some of the other elementary schools. We see that courtyard as a real potential for an outdoor learning environment, and we really want to give classrooms as much access to the courtyard as possible. Off the back of the building, we're right against the wetlands. We think it's a really interesting concept to try to engage those wetlands with some sort of balconies or patios that will come off the building, right off those fourth grade classrooms, and really almost overhang into the wetland, just to really engage the environment. And again, this photo I've shown various times. There's a lot of things happening in this photo that really reflects the spaces back here, especially in this fourth grade area, where again you can have that open environment where it fits what the teachers are trying to do at that moment. And then again, just the flexibility of volunteers to come in and be able to work with smaller groups, along with all the other various teachers and support staff within the building having areas to pull students to whether directly in classrooms or adjacent to classrooms where address students' needs.
Excuse me, Paul.
Hi.
Hi. I just had a question about the outdoor spaces along the back of fourth grade about security.
Yeah, so what's interesting about the site is the building actually drops off somewhat drastically at the back, so those will be raised off the ground significantly enough that shouldn't be a security concern. But again, when we get a little further into design, we'll certainly be aware of the security features of the building. really trying to look at this entire site and think about security even beyond the envelope of the building and think about the larger site. We've gotten a lot of comments of just the sort of the local neighbors. There's a lot of traffic of people walking through the site, and I realize that's probably convenient depending on where you live and where you're going, but it's unnerving to the building occupants having strangers go by their windows. So we can't completely gate off this building, and but we're certainly going to be aware of security.
Out into larger areas. So go into their, like,
Oh, absolutely, yes. Yes, so though we're showing some portions of walls that can open up between rooms, they can always be closed. There'll be a standard room with all the amenities that you expect in a classroom. All right. So I'm going to right into the next slide here. The other, let me just say, I saw my other bullet there. The other thing we're really excited about with this project is now that we're starting to have a finalized floor plan, we can get our engineers involved. And so we're starting to spend a lot of time with our mechanical engineers and just thinking about building systems, not only for energy performance, but also human performance. And there's just a ton of new research out there that really talks about different ventilation rates and materials that have low VOCs and the direct impact to your cognitive abilities and your performance rate. So we're really excited to sort of dive into that, to sort of infuse that into the project, and then the most important thing is to really teach the occupants what the how the building is reinforcing what they're. So, all right, transportation fuel island. Now, this drawing, I apologize, we don't have something better. We're at a point now where we just submitted the project to the State Education Department, so all of our drawings are really technical. So, again, I'm going to hop out of slide mode and... Again, okay. So here we go. It looks very technical. It's pretty simple what's going on here, and again, it really in line with what we've talked about in the past, but refined and sort of boiled down to a simpler form that really is going to work better. Again, just to sort of orient yourselves here, and I realize I'm zoomed in, but to the top of the slide is north, which would be the Transportation and Food Service Building, and then Taft Road would be towards the top of the page. To the left of the slide would be the Medical Office Building and their access road, which would be right along, outside the gate, but right along there. And then on the right side of the screen would be the maintenance buildings and the whole rest of the maintenance and bus mechanic property. So as you enter into the gate, so there's a sliding gate, you enter into the new fueling station. The big change since the last time I presented this we've gone to 2 fueling islands. So let me just point some things out here. You've got 3 fuel tanks, 1, 2, 3. Those are the same tanks we've been talking about all along, for both diesel and gasoline storage. Then you've got a pump station, 2 pump stations along here, one at each end. And then you have a drive bay here. So buses will come into the facility and pull right in. And then again, buses will come into the facility and pull in on this side as well. Again, giving access to more pump stations. So 4 buses at a time can refuel. The key thing that splitting, if you remember way back, we had everything on one island in the beginning, and buses would drive up on either side, either left or right. The problem is bus design is sort of an evolving thing, and they keep moving where the gas tank is, front of the bus, back of the bus, And what this was doing was as we met with Matt and the transportation folks, and they described how the buses would have to pull in. Again, we're in this finite fenced-in area. It has to be fenced. But we've got these buses that are turning left and right and crisscrossing each other, and it was really becoming a circulation nightmare. By simply creating these two separate islands and allowing buses to all pull in, everyone just pulls in, and then everyone is turning left and circulating out. So it seems very simple, but it took us a few meetings and a lot of head-scratching to get to this point. I think it'll work well, and everyone's happy with it. The other key thing here is that the tanker, when that large truck comes to refuel, they will no longer need to use access drive next to the medical office building. So if you remember last time I presented this, that was really the only way that we could get the tanker in and give him enough room to turn around and get into the space they need to be in. So again, the whole reorganization, the key things are better circulation, safer circulation, and we will not need to utilize the access road next to the office building at all, which I think will keep your neighbors happy. All right? Sure, and again, up here, this is the containment area. So this is where that tanker actually parks when he's refueling. That area is designed to deal with a fuel spill during like a monsoon. It's designed for the absolute worst case scenario as required by law. It'll be a very safe facility and has a lot more design features and safety features, a lot more than your current facility. Oh, good. Thank you. Another key thing we're excited to be able to do in this project, and it wasn't part of the original design, but we've just found ways to economize in areas, and we're able to provide a canopy that will literally cover this entire sort of white area here. So all of the tanks, the dispensers, and even where the bus drivers will stand and the buses park will all be covered with a canopy that'll be about 20 feet high. So, I mean, a driving wind will still get in there a little bit, but we're really protecting the equipment and the drivers a little bit better. There will not. That's one of those changes. The new fire safety code that just came out several months ago has removed that because there are so many. It was a significant maintenance issue, and so that's one of those things that we removed, and we're able to put those funds towards the canopy. Okay, I'm going to keep moving here. All right, so the wireless upgrade project. And, you know, I keep joking. We keep calling this the wireless project. This project is nothing but wire. It's like spaghetti central. So you've got that first photo on your left. That's one of your current sort of data closets and racks. Next one over is just showing the contractor and the quantity of wire that's going up into the ceilings and being pulled throughout the building. And then, you know, this is a beautiful picture where it's all nice and tidy and going through fire rated penetrations through ceilings, and then finally a new rack and what each of the buildings will have. When I say each of the buildings, it's the high school, the junior high, and Main Street. So currently, Main Street, a significant, if not all of the fiber has been and cabling has been pulled throughout the building, and they're currently doing final terminations. And I'm sorry, what did I say? I'm sorry. All right, let me start. Main Street, we've done nothing. Sorry, at the high school, significant portion of the work has been done, and we're starting to engage the district's IT department, and they'll start to do final terminations, and over a series of months here, they'll start testing and ultimately turn over portions of the building. In the end, everything should be done by the end of this calendar year, if not sooner. Junior high, we had a kickoff meeting the beginning of February, and so that same process is happening at the junior high. And then Main Street, thankfully, the district has found a way to allow us to have the entire building, so that program's been relocated for the summer. That's going to be probably the most difficult building just because of the age and structure that we're dealing with there. So the contractor is very happy to not have to worry about working around small children. So that's the wireless project. It's moving ahead well. And then the final project, our landscape architect did some quick drawings for the district over the summer for some stair replacement and repair. This is more of a maintenance project that I know John and Don probably came to you recently, talked about this. So again, just some quick drawings I put up as an image in the front entrance. The key thing with this is after repairing these stairs, the stairs on the side of the building, and also the addition of a ramp at the back, what I'm calling the back entrance or the gym entrance, it'll give the building administration, the transportation, and the maintenance departments an opportunity to at least reconsider drop-off procedures at the building and think about if there's any efficiencies that can be had there. So, hi in a nutshell. That's my presentation.
One question.
Yes.
Bear Road, the courtyard. I mean, the kids probably really hard, and it's really nice to have a courtyard. But kids are out there they don't go out there 70% of the year. We could use the courtyard elsewhere and to reprioritize that space to take advantage of it. It'll be costly to put a roof over it and all.
Right. So we've certainly in the past have looked at
We live in
because
Syracuse, so
no one's a fan of courtyards. John Ward is always asking us to make them a little more maintenance friendly. So the cost to cover it is significant, and what you would gain. When you look at it from an aid perspective, it becomes a very difficult financial case to make. So we know it's there. We need to do something with it. Trying to make it so John doesn't have to mow it, or not John, but literally John's very sensitive to that. At the same time, we see it as an opportunity. So if kids can get outside, and so those couple of months when you actually can do that, or who knows, maybe you put on your boots and they'll tromp out there in the winter and do something out there. But we're not investing a significant portion in the site work we're talking about. But doing a roof would be, and it certainly has been done before. I think. It may be your junior high library at one point was the courtyard though. So you needed a library. So there was a real driving reason to do that. Size of the courtyard at Bear, there just wasn't a space or a program need that could really justify doing that. Fair answer? Thanks.
Anything else?
I just want to thank Paul and the team of architects for their work to this point. I think I just want to say that there's been a lot of meetings, bumps in the road, because there's a lot of people with a lot of different thoughts. Paul's been very patient, took a lot of input and feedback. I think he's moved bathrooms and lockers more times than we can count.
Yes.
And the reality of it is not everybody's 100% happy. But I think after gaining all of the input, they've done a great job in terms of trying to accommodate the best that we can given the existing space that we have to work with. Also allowing flexibility for instructional purposes, not only for the way we teach now, but thinking about the fact that 50 years from now, we can't even begin to imagine what education might be like, and it'll probably be another 50 years before or somebody has the opportunity to take a look at that again. Thanks, Paul.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Item 3A, comments from the audience. We have 3 people who have signed up this evening. I would remind each speaker of the 3-minute time. First is Carrie, and I know I'm going to mispronounce this. Carrie, either Del Ducetto or Del Ducetto. Please help me. Del Ducetto, thank you. I'm going to wait for Connie to be ready and Carrie for you to be ready. Okay? When you start, she'll start the clock. Okay? Thank you, Carrie.
I'm one of the elementary school counselors. staffing to support the high-level mental health needs of our students. Hospitalized for extended stays. Elementary students have engaged in harming behaviors as well as throwing furniture and punching staff buildings into parking lots and woods. Anxiety is at an all-time high at every single grade level. Many elementary students have such severe intensifies. Several middle school children are in homebound instruction because of anxiety attacks. Counselors at the secondary levels are reporting record numbers of students expressing suicidal thoughts. And in the doubled. Our community, in October 2016, the Cass Center closed down in Syracuse. Emotional disabilities. Wait lists for seeing a child psychiatrist can often be 9 months. In recognizing and treating health needs of our students. Schools are often the only source they have for help. The disruption to the environment and the magnitude of our psychiatric issues. At your opening day speech, you talked about reaching our goals, given the obstacles in mental health. Our current staffing is insufficient. Psychologist who, in addition to also asking for additional counseling secretary at the high school and counseling secretary at the counselors are behind closed doors. We are that if we can resolve problems at the counselors can speak to children early. RTI approach, we can target the model and reduce stigma. Provided a packet to each.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. Second speaker is Hannah. I believe it's Clary. I can't read the writing. Hannah, come up, please. Connie, you ready? Okay. Thank you, Hannah. Go.
Hello, everyone, and good evening. My name is Hannah Clary, and I'm currently a senior at CNS High School. And I'm here tonight to ask for your consideration in reinstating the Science Olympiad Club back into the budget for the next school year. As a quick synopsis, Science Olympiad is one of the nation's best youth science competitions, allowing students to compete against other schools in various events encompassing biology, chemistry, physics, engineering, technology, and math. CNS has placed exceptionally well at the regional level and has likewise advanced to the state-level competition nearly every year. Personally, this club has helped me get accepted into all of my top-choice colleges in the pursuit of a STEM career. It has given me the opportunity to express how Science Olympiad has shaped my work ethic ever since I was in 8th grade, and how it is something I have a strong desire to hold on to in college. But enough of my personal anecdotes. I would like to focus on how Science Olympiad has the potential to influence the entire community. Now, I'm sure you're already aware of how pursuing a STEM career offers higher starting salaries than an average career and is essential for success in the modern global economy. However, many students are incapable of even reaching a starting point for this path. A report by the ACT College Readiness Exam organization suggests that only 26% of high school seniors who express interest in a STEM field are academically ready for first-year college classes in STEM fields. The level of interest is encouraging, but the lack of readiness for STEM college coursework remains an issue. Many solutions to this problem propose that school educators and counselors teach the relevance of STEM and get students actively involved. This is where a Science Olympiad Club can play an essential role. Science Olympiad allows students to undertake challenging tasks on their own and see the application of their work outside of the classroom. Many participants in biology and chemistry-related events have gone on to become doctors and research scientists, and the students who built a contraption to accomplish a certain task now have jobs in engineering. There is no doubt that participating in Science Olympiad has given these students a solid foundation for their career in these STEM areas. To conclude, I believe Science Olympiad has the potential to fix the issue of the lack of readiness for college science and math classes. It will teach students to become self-motivated and allow them to apply their interests to real-life scenarios. Despite the fact that I'm a senior, I'm still here tonight to support Science Olympiad for its future members in hopes that they will take away as much as I did in preparing for the next chapter of my life. Again, thank you for your time, and I hope that you will consider reinstating Science Olympiad into next year's school budget.
Thank you, Hannah. And next is Ava Breitbach. That's right. Thank you, Ava.
Good evening. My name is Ava Breitbach, and I'm a junior. I am here to talk about the inequitable funding of after-school programs, specifically regarding the Science Olympiad team. To start, the percentage of high school athletes that end up competing professionally is only 0.02%. Meanwhile, careers in STEM are growing 1.7 times faster than other jobs. It is clear that career opportunities for students interested in science, technology, engineering, and math are expanding. So why is the district not reflecting this trend with an increased funding for Science Olympiad? The fact that the district is not only not funding our program, but not acknowledging our existence in the budget as an interdisciplinary organization is alarming and wrong. With emphasis on project-based learning, Science Olympiad teaches its members how to problem solve, cooperate with teammates, work under pressure, and develop the self-confidence necessary to be successful in the workplace. The skills we learn together throughout the season are indispensable to our success in our chosen careers, and the careers we will pursue are on the cutting edge of 21st century technology. As a young woman entering the STEM fields, I personally can attest to the role that Science Olympiad has played in my decision to enter typically male-dominated fields. Women make up 50% of the college-educated workforce, but only 29% of the STEM workforce. Also, 70% of the STEM workforce is white. Science Olympiad aims to change both of these statistics to make STEM a more inclusive community. My team members have an unwavering commitment to excellence, a desire to perform at an academically vigorous level, and dedication to the community at large. This district prides itself in being one of the most educationally diverse in the area. Please reinstate Science Olympiad into the budget and live up to that reputation. Thank you for your time, and good night.
Ava, the medal, please. What's the medal?
This is a state gold medal.
Congratulations. Next item, 4A, Board Committee Reports, Comments. We all got an email from Jackie about her position on the Onondaga-Madison School Boards. Hope you all had a chance to read that. Anything else, Jackie, on that? Or just everything? So very good. You're enjoying it, for the most part. Okay, all right, good. Well, thank you for doing that. Appreciate you being there for us. Anybody else? Liz, on the legislative?
Yeah, Thursday night we have our community forum, our joint session with Liverpool High School. It is here at the North Syracuse Junior High School, and it starts at 7 p.m. We're hoping everybody can attend.
We come to that, please. Anybody else? We've got an upcoming policy, Mary.
The next policy committee meeting is next Tuesday, March 14th, I believe.
Anything else, Mike?
I will say that Mike and I had an audit committee meeting last week. Everything seems to be in order, and we started our discussions on what focus area we'd like our auditors to look at for this upcoming school year. In addition, we got an update on the last focus area, which was technology, security, and infrastructure, which was a big piece in our Smart Schools plan. So we got an update on that, and everything is on track with that.
Thank you, Mike. Anything else?
I do have a
Okay.
comment. Don, you're giving a budget update next week, or next meeting, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Would it be possible for us to put in some sort of comparison from 2010 to 2017 in terms of co-curricular activities that are no longer offered, classes that are no longer offered, our enrollment decline, class population at each building, staffing reductions at each building? I want, looking at your presentation, which is always well put together, is great, but you're only looking at the numbers of where we are now. I think by putting up some sort of indication that says, hey, we were here and we offered these things 7 years ago, here's where we are now, we can only do more with less for so long. And I think to a lot of people out in the community, if you're driving by our school buildings, our maintenance and operations crew do a great job at making everything look really nice. And to a lot of people, it may not look like we're in as bad of a situation as we are. But you walk into some of these buildings, you go into the high school, you see outdated science labs with equipment that is 10, 15 years old, that can't be used anymore. And with our emphasis on 21st century learning, teachers are starting to go out of their way to find creative ways out of their own pocket to help these kids. So just to kind of show, I think it's going to be a drastic difference for people to see where we were, where we are now, and how we can't continue to stay on that trend.
Sure, I'm happy to incorporate that additional information.
Yeah, thank you, Don.
Thank you. Superintendent's comments. Annette?
So I do have a couple of comments that kind of go right in line with some of the things that have already been mentioned. I must congratulate the junior high science Olympiad teams. They finished second and fifth place this weekend in the regional event. And the second place team will compete at the state level next month. So congratulations to them. And I think it goes without saying, it proves the point that these young ladies were saying. It is a phenomenal experience. Our kids are great at it, and it does enhance their ability to move on to careers. Congratulations to them. We're proud of them. In addition, we're proud of our CNS cheerleaders. They finished fifth in the state level competition. I heard disappointed because they had their eyes set on first place, but fifth place is awesome and outstanding, and congratulations to them as well. So the forum, as was just mentioned, is Thursday evening, and I just want to let people know, in case you saw during the facilities presentation, yes, I was on my phone and I was texting, and I was texting back and forth with Andrew Donovan from Channel 9 and Mark Potter, superintendent of Liverpool, because this is a joint venture with Liverpool, and we're trying to arrange a little news coverage, hopefully on Wednesday ahead of time, to advertise the event, get more people there in support of our need, as well as perhaps to have some media coverage on Thursday evening. I do know that we're expecting some legislators there, and along with what Mike was saying about our needs now, our staffing, and our opportunities for student compared to 2009-2010, I know that Mr. Karula is with the Committee of 100 lobbying, talking with legislators in Albany the next 2 days, and we sent him with a list of generalized kinds of topics as to what that $9 million could do for us and for our students. So we're hoping that they'll pay attention to that.
Okay. Thank you. Item 5, routine action items. 5A, consideration of approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of the Board of Education of February 27, 2017. B, consideration of the classification and school placement of disabled students certified by the District Committee on Special Education. And C, consideration and classification of and placement of students in home instruction programs as recommended by the Home Instruction Review Committee. I will entertain a motion to take 5A, B, and C as a group. Mr. Harrington, Ms. Scanlon, all in favor? 6, Discussion, action, and items. A, acknowledgement of a gift. If I get this to come up. DonorsChoose.org has donated 14 MU40 Mitchell Soprano ukuleles and 2 long words, Universal Chromatic Tuners. It's got some numbers and names here, folks. I don't know what they are. Valued at $616 to Lakeshore Road Elementary School. An anonymous donor has donated Braille books from Seedling Braille Books for Children to the Main Street Elementary School. These books are valued at $100. Entertain a motion to accept these gifts with gratitude. Mr. McClintock, Ms. Owens, all in favor. 6B, the 2016-17 non-resident health and welfare rates. That the board resolution that the board approved the establishment of the 2016-17 health and welfare service rates at $462.57 per pupil. All in favor? No, pardon me, motion. Ms. Scanlon, Mr. Harrington, all in favor. And C, the estimated 16-17 non-resident tuition rates. In the public content section, it was rather lengthy, but a listing of all the categories and all of the rates for this year. I would entertain a motion to approve the resolution establishing the rates as shown. Ms. Cash, Mr. Harrington, all in favor. Personnel reports. 7A, instructional, and there are 2 retirements in that instructional section. Oh, that's administrative. I'm sorry. Thank you, Mike. Support staff B and administrative C, and that's where the 2 retirements are. Jackie Grace, elementary principal at Roxelle, 9 years of service, and Nikki Slater, associate principal at the high school, 13 years of service. So I would entertain a motion to approve 7A, B, and C as a group. Mr. Harrington, Mr. McClintock, all in favor. Executive session. Entertain a motion to move into executive session for the purpose of receiving an update on negotiations with the district bargaining unit, to receive an update on one legal matter relative to potential litigation, and to review the employment history of one individual with action to follow. Is there a motion for executive session, please? Ms. Owens, Ms. Scanlon, all in favor. That says with action to follow. Is there action to follow? No, you're saying no. This does say with action to follow. Okay, so we'll amend that motion as such. Thank you, Mike. Okay, at this point, we'll get all of the PIG students.